Welcome. I'm by Access Unit of Law Center 2, Faculty of Law, University of Mission with Project Saksham 3.0, a legal aid of law starts soon. Kindly stay tuned. Speakers are going to join us in a couple of minutes. Good evening, Malika ma'am. Good evening, Pramila ma'am. We welcome you to the webinar.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening.
Anya, can we start the webinar now or are we waiting?
We will start in 2 minutes.
All right, thank you.
Uh, Hemant Devansh sir is also here.
Very warm good evening, Divansh sir. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
the webinar.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for joining.
Uh,
Tanya,
Hemant,
since
Devansh.
Divansh sir has also joined, shall we start now?
We are sharing YouTube live stream, so just a
All right.
minute.
All right.
Hemant, we can start.
Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to today's webinar, Mind Over Matter, Managing Stress in Law School. I am Himang Vyas, a student at Campus Law Center and a member of Project Section 3.0, your host for this event, organized by the NSS Unit of Law Center 2, Faculty of Law, University of Delhi, in collaboration with Project Section 3.0, a legal aid initiative by the NAIC Foundation and the alumni of Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. Law school is a rigorous journey, and stress is often an inevitable part of it. But stress, if managed well, can fuel our growth instead of holding us back. As Hans Thiel rightly said, it is not stress that kills us, it's our reaction to it. In the spirit of NSS motto, not me, but you, we come together today to prioritize mental health and share strategies to thrive under pressure. To begin, I now invite Ms. Tanya, an esteemed member of Project Saksham, to deliver a welcome address. Tanya, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Hemant. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of organizing team, it's my pleasure to welcome you to today's webinar. I, Tanya Gupta, Additional State Co-Coordinator Project Saksham, Area Coordinator Dayabasti, and an NSS volunteer. Mental health is a vital part of our overall well-being, and we understand its importance in today's life. I welcome our esteemed guests, Ms. Promila ma'am, uh, Malika ma'am, and Devansu. Before, before we begin with this webinar, I encourage you to stay engaged, ask questions, and reflect on how we can apply what we learned today on our personal and professional lives. Together, we can create a culture where mental health is prioritized and celebrated. Over to you, Hemant.
Thank you, Tanya, for your warm words of welcome. Next, I invite Mr. Shubham, a member of Law Center 2 and Project Saksham, to introduce the National Service Scheme NSS and its guiding principles. Over to you, Shubham.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shubham Jain. I am a student of Law Center 2 and a member of Project Section 3.0. I am TCC of Team 6, Deyabasti. Today, I am privileged to speak about the NSS unit of Law Center 2, Faculty of Law, University of Delhi. The National Service Scheme is established with the motto, not me, but you. In the academic year 2023 to 24, NSS has undertaken various initiatives to create positive change in the society. Their previous events include celebrating Veer Bal Divas at Bharat Mandapam, organizing annual winter clothing donation drives in North Campus, PGs, university hostels, and conducting a plantation drive on the college premises, hosting a water splash drive, and arranging a free full body full body and dental health camp for students, staff, and faculty in collaboration with Globe Dental and Whistles and Smile. Actually, this is not working. On 26th of November, our unit participated in Pad Yatra to celebrate Hamara Samvidhan, Hamara Swabhiman. Recently, we also organized a blood donation camp in support of Jammu and Kashmir Army in collaboration with the Rotary Club Kotab. In conclusion, NSS is a team of 100 dedicated young minds working under the guidance of Dr. Nitesh Saraswat, the program officer, to contribute meaningful to the society. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Shubham, for the insightful introduction of NSS. Now, let me invite Ms. Muskan, a fellow member of Project Saksham, to provide a brief overview of this initiative. Muskan, please go ahead.
Thank you, Emma. Hello, everybody. I'm Muskan Sharma and I'm a volunteer for Project Saksham. I will guide you through a brief of Project Saksham 3.0. Just hold on a minute. I'm not able to share my screen. Just one second. Is it visible?
Yes.
Yes, it is visible.
All right. So, beginning with Project Saksham 3.0 is an initiative by Nekushin Foundation and alumni of Faculty of Law, Delhi University, and it aims to empower the marginalized communities through legal literacy and education, along with healthcare. Building on the success of Project Saksham 1.0 and 2.0, the project seeks to foster a just and inclusive society by providing legal aid, addressing the social issues, and organizing training camps. The project mainly centers around women, children, senior citizens, laborers, LGBTQIA plus community members, and also the victims of substance abuse. Here is a slight glimpse of Project Saksham over the past two episodes of it. These are the achievements that we have attained over the last two successful completion. Talking about the loading data, the project section is in 6 states involving 1,500 plus volunteers and 30 plus universities which are included in project section. Pardon, someone can mute themselves, please. So the key activities that are included in project sections are field survey, legal and health camps, training sessions, and educational drives on laws such as POXO and cyber laws. Also, about talking about the schedule of Project Saksham, it is scheduled for 4 to 5 months starting in the month of June. Project Saksham 3.0 aims to create lasting impact through collaboration, innovation, and service. That's all. Thank you. Thank you for joining in.
Thank you, Muskan, for introducing us to the work and goals of Project Section. Now let us move on to the most awaited part of this session. It is my honor to introduce our distinguished speakers who will guide us in understanding stress management and achieving balance in law school. Our first speaker, Mrs. Promila Gupta, is an esteemed officer of the Indian Railway Traffic Service IRTS 2006 batch. She currently serves as the Group General Manager Tourism at IRCTC New Delhi. Beyond her remarkable public service, Mrs. Gupta is also a certified pranic healer come life coach and a passionate advocate for mental well-being. Her work has positively impacted thousands of lives, and her dedication through personal growth is truly inspiring. Ma'am, we are delighted to have you with us. The stage is yours.
Uh, a very good afternoon, everyone. And I'm very thankful to all of you for inviting me here. So it's a lazy Sunday afternoon, and let me tell you very honestly, I have not prepared too much, but because I am into this since long now, and I advocate very simple things to myself also, and on that confidence only, I'm going to speak whatever I'm going to speak on mental health. Let me introduce myself a bit more. I am a civil servant with the grace of God, and now I am quite old in Government of India. At the same time, now I'm a new author and a new YouTuber also with my channel The Mila on YouTube and a few books that I have written on spirituality. So, in the beginning, Hemang, you said that stress is because stress can be there, but how we react to it is important. I want to add something to it. Stress is there, but how we understand it is also equally important. So, stress is like a knot. If you will try to pull it without knowing, then you can tighten it all the more, you know. But when you see at it, when you try to understand why it is there in the first place, then you will be able to work better, work delicately, work diligently, and you will be able to have a very stress free existence that I can say that I have now with the grace of God. I will not say that there are no challenges, there are no hiccups, there are no disappointing moments. No, it's there still. big time. But I'm able to manage because I have been able to devise a formula that I will share with all of you today. Before that, I will start with very simple things for trying to understand what stress is. Stress is when there is no coordination between your mind, body, and soul. I hope you agree over that, all of you. There is no coordination between your mind, body, and soul. Body wants something else, mind wants something else, and you want something else. Who is this you? You is the soul part, which is missing. In three things, that is body, mind, soul, we know the body, we know the mind, but we don't know the soul. We are not focused there. So when you try to understand that your mind is feeling stress, you are not feeling stress, your mind. You have a mind. So then this understanding is a crucial point in understanding and solving the puzzle of so-called the word stress. So you have to not be the mind, you have to be the master of the mind. You are that soul, that energy that can change the thinking of mind, that can make the stress not feel that heavy as it could feel otherwise. And from there, we must start with the formula now. So, stress can come because of any reason, because of pressure of work, because of any physical problem, because of problem at family. It can have many, many reasons. We'll not go into that. Sometimes there is no reason, there is no problem. That is also stress because there is no problem. What to do now? Life is boring. So, stress can be because of anything. Let's not go into that. How to manage and understanding why there is stress. There is not a coordination. So, for coming to that coordination between your body, mind, and soul, you have to start with one very basic formula. I have given it the designation of DGP. We all know the word DGP, Director General of Police. I'm into government sector, so I have devised this formula. So you have to start from D if you want to have a balance. If you want to beat your stress, D first is for discipline. If you're disciplined, if you're consistent, if you don't have any FOMO, fear of missing out. अगर मैं सुबह एक्सरसाइज करने गया या मैं एक्सरसाइज करने गई तो मैं थक जाऊंगी शाम में और मैं पार्टी नहीं कर सकूंगी. So this fear of missing out will go away when you are disciplined. आप कहोगे नहीं कोई बात नहीं वो भी हो जाएगा ये भी हो जाएगा सब कुछ हो जाएगा आई कैन मैनेज एवरीथिंग. Discipline will give you such a great power over your own body, over your own mind that you will not believe. If you're disciplined, if you're consistent, you will have no FOMO. You will be able to have a lot of patience with your life, with your surroundings, because you are focused on your work, you're disciplined, and you will not depend on anyone. You will be able to take responsibility of your life, of your actions. It all starts from this first D of DGP. So, in short, I will say if you try to inculcate from small acts of discipline in your life, getting up at time, not too early, at time, sleeping at time, not taking junk every day, and thinking of your body, because body is very important in body, mind, soul coordination. Body is extremely important, and body needs discipline. So, your students at present, I am very elder to you, but I really believe in discipline, and discipline gives you good health. When you are able to finish all your work in a day, you will not have stress at the end of the day. Very simple. These are very simple things I will tell you. So, discipline is the most important thing to beat the stress. Second is DGP G. G is for gratitude. When your mind is focused on lack, मेरे पास तो ये नहीं है, मेरे पास तो वो नहीं है, तो दुनिया में बहुत लोगों के पास बहुत कुछ नहीं है और बहुत लोगों के पास वो भी नहीं है जो आपके पास है at present. So G is for gratitude. As law students, you must remember that you are only the 27% of the youth of the country who are able to go to the higher education. Only 27% out of 100% people out there. So you have already achieved a place. You have your health, you have your limbs, you have your family, you have your friends. So you have so much. You have opportunity. You can do so much wonder. So gratitude पे जब आप focus रहेंगे, तो stress will not come. This is my formula. Have gratitude for small, small things, for a good piece of cloth, or for water in your tap. Kindly mute yourself. Simran, kindly mute yourself. Oh my God. Sorry for that. And so you will be focused when you are disciplined, and you will have a great feeling about your own existence when you have gratitude. You'll be able to see the brighter side of life, the positive side of life, the simple thing that you're not born in Africa in some god forsaken place. You are here in India, in Delhi. This is again a thing you should be thankful for. So, thankfulness, gratitude is something which will give you so much good hormones. A hormone called serotonin, which is a happy hormone, can only be released if you feel good about your life, about small, small things that you have. And the third of DGP is P is prayer. Prayer or meditation. I know meditation is a big word. It says, kaise hoga meditation? So I will not use that word. You can start with simple prayer. When you get up in the morning, you can say, thank you for the day, God. Give me strength throughout the day. You know, it will give you, it will help you in giving acts, in delivering acts of kindness. And kindness does not mean helping somebody with money. You can help someone with your smile also. The person who's serving food in the canteen, you can give them a smile. That is also an act of kindness. You can say thank you. And prayer gives you so much strength. And let me tell you, God is going to help 100% for sure, because your prayer has immense power. So prayer is very powerful. So DGP is something, I think this is a formula you can devise. You can remind yourself, oh, am I disciplined? Oh, do I have really good amount of gratitude in my life? Or I'm really praying? Yes. If you're doing all that, I'm telling you, stress will come and it will go. So you won't have to worry. And stress is important. Let me tell you, we take stress very negatively. If there is no stress, there is no pressure, you will not perform. So a healthy amount of stress is fine. But you need to understand at the end of the day that there is a lot of light at the end of the tunnel. Life is good because you are there, you are sitting, you are in a seminar. It means you have a mobile, it means you have an internet connection. So these are the small things we take for granted. Take anything for granted. Be thankful for small, small things in your life, and stress will be away. Yes, there will be challenges. There will still be moments when you will feel weak. There will still be moments when you will see dark. But trust me, when you have gratitude, when you're disciplined, and when you are doing healthy prayers, having trust in God, you will be able to manage this stress very easily. You will have a I will tell you with a very small example of my own life. When I was preparing for UPSC, I was reading, reading, reading. And it was 1 year of preparation, and I was realizing that I'm not able to make it because it's very long, very lengthy, very tough. Then I decided to just do my work, be in the present moment, keep doing my work. If it has to happen, it will happen. If it does not have to happen, I will do something else. I'm MA English, I will be a teacher or something. That it's fine. Well, oh, so sorry. I think my mic was off. So can you hear me now? Okay. So
Yes,
I
ma'am.
was, yes, I was just saying that if you live in the present moment every day, doing your disciplined act of studies, of your other activities that you need to do in a day, and if you are full of thankfulness inside you, and you can say 1,000 times thank you in your heart, nobody's stopping you. Universe likes that. I am into law of attraction coaching also. Universe loves that because universe knows you are like them. भगवान देखिए पेड़ पौधे सबको देते हैं, किसी से कुछ मांगते नहीं है। तो वो आपको अपने जैसा समझने लगते हैं। यू बिकम वन विद यूनिवर्स। यू आर थैंकफुल, यू आर गिविंग थैंक यू। सो एंड इन द प्रेयर मोड यू ट्रस्ट गॉड कि मैंने भगवान को बोल दिया है तो वहां से कुछ आएगा मैसेज। So these small things will help you in giving your full energy to the work that you are assigned. You will be able to focus yourself very easily when you're doing these three things in your life. There are so many other things, there are formulas you can apply, but I will say that these three acts, DGP, They will really help you in combating with so-called stress. I don't believe in the word stress, let me tell you. So-called pressure that you feel, and the happy hormones will be released like anything. Dopamine with discipline, serotonin with prayer, endorphins with gratitude, and oxytocin as well. So that is my take on stress in this seminar. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gupta. Thank you for your service
Mhm.
to the
Thank you.
society, going extra mile by going over to the YouTube, writing those books, and even
Yes.
attending, giving us this knowledge via this webinar, and giving us
Thank
this
you.
formula of DGP, discipline, gratitude, and prayer.
Yes. And lastly, as a YouTuber, as a true YouTuber, I will request all of you to kindly subscribe to my channel, The Mila. I think Tanya can share the link or something at the end. And I will have to take a leave. I have few emergency calls to take. And thank you for inviting me. Thank you so much. So kindly allow me to leave this seminar. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye.
Our next speaker is Advocate Devansh Sharma, a legal professional with a unique blend of expertise in law and mental health. Advocate Sharma graduated with a bachelor's degree in 2019 and began his career in litigation, working extensively in district courts and high courts in Lucknow. He later pursued his master's degree at the prestigious Tata Institute of Social Sciences, TIS, Mumbai. Currently, he specializes in intellectual property rights, media and entertainment law, and contracts. His professional journey includes working with Bollywood production houses and providing valuable counsel across the industry. As a mental health advocate, he actively mentors individuals worldwide through spiritual practices designed to foster well being and positivity. Sir, it's an honor to have you here. Please take over.
Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing good. So, when Tanya approached me, I thought, what were my problems during college? See, I graduated, I did a postgraduate in 2023, so I'm not pretty far away from my graduation days. And there were problems. At least in this, I had to work 24 into 7 hours. I was the head, and over there, I was also working day in, day out with the field work and everything. So I'm pretty much aware with the stress, and I have not forgotten those days. But then again, I was pretty aware that everybody is going to talk about it. Like the Mila ma'am has talked to you about discipline, gratitude, prayer, meditation. But then again, let's be very practical. The FOMO will come. We are in our 20s and 30s. We do not want to miss out on the parties. And I would just like to add a little bit on that. Just keep doing the work, but in the most simplest form. For example, if I have to go and I like to go to the gym, right? But then I don't put a lot of weight so that I might have a lot of delayed onset muscle soreness and I won't be able to work on any other place. If my priority in this particular period of time is to study, then that shall be on the number one position. Let it be the hardest thing in the world. Let it be the worst thing in the world. Let me put my best. But other aspects of my life, if I want to go and do puja, I'll not do so many chants. If I want to go to meditation, I'll not do it for 1 hour, 2 hour. If I want to go and work out, I will not give my 3, 4 hours over there. I'll shorten it up. Also, I will simplify it. I will simplify my whole task that it must be a butter walk for me, a cake walk for me. So I would like to add that thing. Try to keep it simple and easy as much as possible. And trust me, when you keep things simple and easy and walk as a turtle, remember that the story that you have heard when there was a rabbit and a turtle and they were having a race. This is such a brilliant story. I have no idea who wrote it, but it was such a peculiar story because the one who starts to do it very fast, one who starts to walk very fast, even you must have experienced it in your own life that they usually fail due to the circumstances. Maybe they have the best intention, they have the best motivation, but they will fail due to the circumstances. Also, even if they reach to the highest position or to the goal that they want. So in our astrology, there's something that is called Rahu ki energy. There are two ways. Rahu se hame kuch milta hai, and we get something from Shani or Saturn. So Shani in Saturn is a turquoise walk, slow and steady, slow and steady. It might take us time, that's okay. But it will get you the result and it will keep the result with you. But in the way that Rahu work, there's an obsession with the goal. And once in those obsession, once we reach to that goal, we feel so exhausted, we do not want to work anymore further that we tend to lose it. And we have multiple examples within our lives, among ourselves, and even in the Bollywood or the famous people around the world. They have went to the top and came down because they stopped working upon themselves, maybe, or maybe on their art. So let me start with what I really want to talk to today. So I was pretty sure that people want to talk about other things, but let's be honest, there are other problems when we are a college student. We are insecure, we are being bullied. Sometimes there are people who are teasing us, and that is not going to stop because oftentimes we have study pressures. But if somebody is calling me something that is hurting me deep down inside, it is going to stay with me. So I wanted to work with that. When I was in my own college, I used to be called Mota a lot, बहुत ज़्यादा. So I was wondering once upon a time, like, you know, I had this friend of mine at this, and she was one day having a lot of mood swings. She was not feeling very happy, and we went for a walk. We were classmates, and she and her problem was that in her early ages, she was a Malayali, and you know Malayali people have a lot of melanin in their body, so they look dark skinned. That's the only reason why a person can be dark skinned and beautiful. And she was being chid, she was being teased, she was being bullied during her entire school life because she was dark skinned, and that was the whole issue. So I asked her one thing: the person who was bullying you, was he a fair person or was he darker than you or was he a dark person? And she said he was a dark person. I asked her, was he darker than you? And she said yes. I also have a friend who lives in Lucknow only. He's also a little bit dark skinned and have the same kind of experience. I asked this person, the person who bullies you, because everybody has the same story. People like to pull on the people who have something that does not meet the societal standards. And I asked the same person, like uh, the person who used to call you dark, chimpanzee, gorilla, these were the words that they were used. Who were these people, dark skin or light skinned? And in the person that the person this person who lives nearby me said that person was also a dark person. If you can just see the story from a third point of view, what you understand is that the people who have the problem themselves, the people who are hurt themselves, the people who are insecure themselves, usually are the one trying to bring down the people who belong to same certain kind of criteria, right? Hurt people, simple as that. So the people who are insecure will bring your insecurity. So next time if you're walking down the corridor, if somebody's calling you mota, any hijra or kala, gorilla, any word that is not bad, that is beautiful in its own way, but yet they are demeaning it by telling you that. Just remember that one thing, that this person must be so much insecure that he chose me to bring down, right? If you just swim in a swimming pool and some person is drowning, you go near to them, they will try to hold you and will try to bring you down as well to rescue themselves. That is happening with the world, that is happening with most of the people in the world. If they are insecure, they're going to find someone who looks largely like them, but that person is able to swim well, so they're going to try to hold you, and that is going to make you come down. Don't let that happen. So next time if you're walking down the corridor, if somebody says, "Oh, arey, oh, mote," simply says, "That's your negativity. I forgive you. It is none of my business. You have your mind. You choose your time and effort to think about me in a certain way. That's not my problem. Like, you cannot create just problems for me. I create my own problems. I am the controller of my life, right? So if you're gonna think about any opinion about me as well, that's your effort, buddy. Congratulations. Deal with it, not my problem. And once you start to, disconnect, Once you start to say, this is not my problem, this is none of my business, this is not my problem, this is none of my business, only problems that come into my life that I have to deal directly, or the only thoughts that come into my mind and I have to deal directly, those are my problems, not your opinion. You start to disconnect, disconnect, disconnect. And most of the insecurities that they were hampering on you are none of your business. Remember, the people who are insecure can only pull upon you. Also, I would like to, point out a little bit more. Always remember this thing. I'm pretty sure over here there will be straight men, straight women. Ask in your heart, if you're truly secure, would you pick up upon a person who's from the LGBTQ community? Nobody does that. As long as you're not being irritated or being annoyed by any such person. But a person who's not secure will only go out and try to find who's gay and who's not. Right? That is what happening. So you need to understand that your insecurities are yours and none of my business. I hope it's clear. The second thing that I wanted to do was, loneliness was a big time problem during my bachelor days. Everybody used to feel lonely. You're away from your home. Nobody is getting the emotional support that they need. And I had one such event. I felt lonely for a long time. I was not able to have friends. I was not able to get the people around me like me. And the thing that I want to share with you is that, remember the logic behind loneliness. Loneliness is your only way to remind you on how you need to reconnect with yourself. Nobody's gonna stay with you 24 into 7 to remove that loneliness. Despite you might be feeling lonely, this person might be feeling lonely, yet you cannot stay together. The life is meant like that. So if in case you're feeling lonely in one way or the other, just remember to spend a little bit more quality time. And that does not mean going out and reading a book. Reading a book means you're spending time with the book. Playing a video game means spending time with the games. uh, Watching a movie means you're spending time with the movie. Do this one exercise which will help you. Talk to yourself every single day. Take out 10 minutes and talk to yourself. Regardless whether you get an answer. See, many people hear a lot many thoughts, lot many voices. So in that case, there must be a good voice as well. Try to find your own voice by being the most authentic, truest person that you want to be. Right? Hemang, I have a lot to talk to, but I might be losing on the time. So do remind me if I go beyond the time limit, right? Okay. I also wanted to talk about career decision, and I hope I'm not just running like a train. Okay. So career decision. I wanted to become an artist. I was so much particular about what I want to become. But things happened and I got foggy minded. Foggy minded means I was not clear. I could not see what was lying in front of me the next 100 meters. That's what we call the foggy weather of lives. And you might be having an idea, I want to become a lawyer, I want to go into litigation, and I want to become this, I want to become a judge. Best of luck. This one, I'm really happy that you are in that space. But here, some people might be who still do not know. I have many friends from the judiciary, from litigation. They are in judicial services, they are in litigation, and yet they call me, yeah, Devansh, can you just watch my numerology chart or astrology chart and let me know what I want to become in my life or what should be good for me? A judge is asking me that. Can you imagine? So some people will find the ways where they will find themselves spiraling in a loop of confusion about their own career. And if you ever find yourself in that, you're not able to see the long pathway or the goal set that you might want to achieve, you're not feeling for it, then here's a simple thing that you would want to do. When things are foggy, you walk very slow, right? We all live in northern India. We all know the fogs of Delhi in northern India. You walk very slow on your car, on your motorcycle. Simply in your life, when you're walking and you're very confused about your career, walk really slow. Find out what this particular moment of your life wants from you. It might be that you want to water the plants. It might be that you just want to go out and play with your friends. Sometimes it's not what you want, but what you need to do. Maybe you need to cook the food for your dinner. Maybe you just need to sleep, right? So just find out what do you need to do at this particular point of time. And if you're able to figure that out one after the other, you are winning in life. That's all that you need to do. Trust me, because I have seen miracles in my life happening with me when I was least expecting them, when I was totally focused, as per Bhagavad Gita, apna bas karam kiye ja. Just do what you want to do in this particular moment. That's it. And last but not the least, I just like to talk to you about time management. See, yeah, I don't want to lose the party. I don't want to lose the party. I want to party. I am in 20s. I want to lose my I want to do parties. So take out time. Take out time. See, the whole idea about life is that if you are into universe like the other speakers are, if you are believing, if you believe in that, this life on earth is mostly about doing physical action. So just keep taking action one after the other. Don't worry if the work is going to finish. Don't worry if the work, if you're going to achieve something or not. Keep it simple. I'm just going to do thing. If it becomes the best thing in the world, amazing. If it becomes, if it does not complete, it's amazing. I am just going to enjoy this thing. If that should be the only motto, I'm just going to enjoy this work as much as possible by being 100% present with this one particular thing, right? And if you're able to do that, and if you're able to be in a very calm state, keep doing one thing after the other, regardless of whether you're able to reach your goals or not, you'll see by the end of the day, by the end of the deadline, everything will complete. For an example, when I was in TIS, it was a very hardcore. If you go to LLM course of TIS, it's a very hardcore 1 year course. We were sent for 1 month of field work where I was in Vidhi. Then I have to come back for 15 days after write a dissertation from the scratch. No literature thing and writing a not writing a dissertation, writing a thesis. We have to go meet the samples, collect the samples, then have to write the literature study in 15 days. 15 days, guys, 200 pages of book. It was not an easy work. And guess what? For the first 10 days, we were not able to reach any other place. My work was on the legal cases against the LGBT community and what are the laws that we need for the men who are from the LGBTQ community, right? It was a very easy way for me to get the sample. That's why I chose it. So the whole idea comes back that we used to sit inside the library. We used to sleep for 6 hours. We used to take the whole 6 hours of sleep. We used to go to the dining area. We used to have our food, and then we'll come back. But what was one thing similar among all the people who completed within time? That they used to work in a very relaxed way, continuously, consistently. We were not chasing that it should be completed. If it gets completed, okay, nahi complete hoga, tum kuch na kuch karke kar denge yaar. No worries. But our focus was to be relaxed and to keep consistently work. And our work was complete before time. Right. Baki अपना कर्म किए जा फल की चिंता मत कर. That one thing, if you really believe in Bhagavad Gita, and I'm not matlab, to all the people who do believe, if you really believe in that, that is literally a sar of life. Hold on to that. Apna karam kiye ja, phal ki chinta mat kar. So that is all that I want to share with you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, sir. You told us about sorting priorities, consistency, perseverance, dedication in a nutshell. You also told about self security and time management, which is very helpful, primarily since the seminar has been organized specially for the LLB students who want to manage this stress in the law school. By right now, by the way, sir, just 10 days from today, we are going to have our semester exams. So stress is always high there. So
Understandable.
yeah, yes, sir, multiple. जिसमें the primary doubt is how you used to manage your time during your law school, since there are so many activities. It's not a academic degree. For example, we do MA political science, or let it be the bachelor's as well. So यहाँ पर when you join the law school, there is your moods, then is your research papers, then are your internships, and then the grades also matter. बिकॉज द कट ऑफ लग जाता है वहां पे आके यू कांट इवन अप्लाई और सिंस यहाँ पे फैकल्टी ऑफ लॉ है यहाँ पे मीडियम स्कोर ही हमारा 60% से ऊपर बहुत रेयरली जाता है. तो दिस इज अ होल डिफरेंट बॉल गेम उस तरीके से का। तो इस वजह से स्ट्रेस इज हाई और वो चीजें मैनेज कैसे करना है, दो आई बिलीव हमारी ऑडियंस समझ गई होगी जो आपने बताया उससे कि कंसिस्टेंसी, परसिवरेंस, डेडिकेशन वही एट द एंड हमारा बेस है।
ये हाँ।
आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट बट फिर आप अगर वापस बोल देंगे उस तरीके से कि इस पे फोकस करते हुए तो इट विल बी वेरी हेल्पफुल।
आई होप कि हिंदी में किसी को दिक्कत नहीं होगी क्योंकि हिंदी जल्दी समझ में आती है। देखो यार, सिंपल सी बात है। अगर मुझे खाना बनाना है, ठीक है, तो मैं बना लूंगा। अगर मैंने सोच रखा है खाना इतना डिलीशियस होना चाहिए कि कोई भी चूमता रह जाए अपने हाथों को, तो मैं बहुत स्ट्रेस, समझ रहे हो, सिंपल सी बात। अपना बस काम करो, पढ़ते रहो, नोट्स बनाओ। मेक इट, ये बस ऐसे पढ़ना नहीं होता, नोट्स बनाओ, जाके करते रहो, कुछ फिजिकल एक्शन करते रहो जब पढ़ रहे हो, बट कीप डूइंग इट, कीप डूइंग इट, कीप डूइंग इट। मुझे फर्स्ट आना है, सेकंड आना है, अगर तुमने अगर ये बना के रखा है, तो तुम एक तो पहली बात पूरे प्रोसेस को एंजॉय नहीं करने वाले हो, क्योंकि तुम बहुत गिन चुन के पढ़ोगे। ये मार्क्स आएगा, यही आएगा। यू नॉट स्टडिंग टू बिकम अ लॉयर, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू स्टडिंग टू जस्ट पास द एग्जामिनेशन। ठीक है, बन जाओ, तुम कर लो एग्जामिनेशन पास, कौन सा लॉयर बनोगे। यहाँ पे आगे जब तुम्हारे सेक्शंस पूछे जाएंगे, जो भी काम आएगा, तुम्हें पता नहीं है तुम 99% से कैसे आगे आ जाते हो, जब तुम्हें लॉ की नॉलेज होती है। तुम्हें तब लगता है कि यार, काश मैंने उस वक्त वो आईपीसी का, अब तो पीएनएसएस आ चुका है एंड ऑल, पर हमारे टाइम पे तो आईपीसी ये सब पढ़ाया जाता था। तो आईपीसी मैंने काश याद कर लिया, तो मुझे सेक्शन वापस बैराट खोल के देखने नहीं पड़ते। राइट। तो रीड टू ग्रैब द नॉलेज प्लस कीप डूइंग इट। आई नो कि तुमको पार्टी करने का मन करेगा, अपने आप उस चीज का समय मिल जाएगा। यूनिवर्स रिवॉर्ड यू व्हेन यू वर्क हार्ड, ट्रस्ट मी ऑन दैट। तो जस्ट कोई ऐसा रखो मत कि भाई तुम्हारा मार्क्स निकल जाएगा। व्हेन यू वर्क टू बिकम बेटर एट समथिंग, व्हेन यू वर्क टू amplify the knowledge within you, तो passing marks is not an any more criteria for you anymore। वो तुम्हारा आराम से तुम्हारा निकल जाता है। बस काम करते रहना पड़ता है। आई होप आई एम एबल टू मेक यू अंडरस्टैंड द कॉन्सेप्ट। बस कर्तव्य करते रहो, एंजॉय इट विदाउट हैविंग एनी गोल। राइट। गोल इन द सेंस विदाउट हैविंग एनी डिजायर। गोल तो यही है कि मुझे इतना कर लेना है। एक्शन वाइज गोल रखो, ना कि ऐसा कोई गोल जो तुम्हारे हाथ में नहीं है कि मुझे फर्स्ट आना है, मुझे अक्टूबर के अंदर 2 चैप्टर्स कंप्लीट करने, दैट्स अ बेटर गोल rather than मुझे एग्जाम के अंदर सेकंड थॉट होना। अंडरस्टैंडेबल। परफेक्ट।
थैंक यू सो मच सर, इट वाज वेरी मच इंसाइटफुल एंड हेल्पफुल। एंड एट द एंड वापस से वो थ्री इडियट्स का था ना, सफलता के पीछे मत भाग, कामयाबी कामयाबी के पीछे भाग। दैट इज द मोटो आई बिलीव। Thank you so much, sir, for guiding us. It was an honor to have you here. And we'll move on to our next speaker, uh, Miss Malika Narang. Thank you, Miss. Our final speaker is Miss Malika Narang, a dedicated counseling psychologist with vast experience in supporting clients through challenges like anxiety, depression, and trauma. Ms. Narang uses a combination of humanistic principles and cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT) to empower individuals to overcome obstacles and rediscover their strengths. Her empathetic and collaborative approach has helped countless clients lead healthier, more fulfilling lives. Ma'am, we are excited to learn from your expertise. The stage is yours. Thank you so much for waiting. Uh, Please, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Devansh. Thank you, Tanya, for inviting me here. Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. Just write your responses in the chat because it just works better if it's a little more interactive. You can always unmute yourselves and ask me something, but I think chat is better for now because we have a little time constraint, right? So, I'd like to expand on the points that earlier speakers have already talked about. But since I'm from a clinical background, I'll give a more biological explanation to all these things. And that's right. Devansh said that FOMO is real, and so is stress. And we don't want to be missing on parties just because we chose a more competitive career or a high pressure job, or law, for example, is a lot of pressure on yourselves. But you don't want to miss on parties and everything else because we are in our 20s, early 20s, young adults, and FOMO is very real, right? So I'd like to talk about the concept of stress firstly, and you could also write in the chat box what is your understanding of stress. So I also know better how it's transferring to you or if it's getting lost in the translation somewhere. How I see stress and how I understand stress it is that it occurs when the demands on your body or your mind are more than what you're able to cope with, right? Simply that's stress. When the situation is demanding a lot out of you and you're not being able to perceive that much or cope with that much, that's when it becomes a problem. And I think Himang and Devansh both mentioned that stress inherently is not problematic. We don't have a problem with stress because if you didn't have stress, even a night before exam, your body wouldn't kick into action mode and start studying, right? You have an entire semester syllabus left, and a night before the exam, you're starting to do 10 units, 15 units. If you didn't have stress or if you didn't have the responses that stress brings, you wouldn't get into action mode and start studying. So, stress inherently is not bad. We need stress, we require stress. It's a spectrum, right? The spectrum of emotions. There's positive emotions and there's negative emotions. Emotions in itself is not bad. Positive emotions might be happiness, love, joy, consistency. And on the other hand of the spectrum, negative emotions might be, hatred, jealousy, envy, stress. So emotions in itself aren't bad, but how we perceive it and how we project it and how we cope with it is what can be either problematic or might help you solve those problems and move ahead. So there's a lot of types of stress, but what we experience as young adults or as students specifically is either acute stress. So for example, if you have a deadline, right? Or if you have an exam tomorrow, that is acute stress. And then there's chronic stress, which is persistent stress that you're not being able to cope with. For example, a bad relationship, right? Your partner's not understanding and you're in that toxic relationship for very long, and that might lead to chronic stress and then eventually burnout. What I'd like to teach you, or what I'd like to tell you, is how do you recognize these things? Because sometimes we might feel stressed or we might be under a lot of stress or pressure and we don't even know how to recognize that, right? So, obviously, there's physical symptoms of stress, which is headaches, nausea, some sort of pain that, there's no a relation to your health or whatever, but it's still manifesting in your body as some sort of chronic pain, like persistent back pain, or some people have breathing issues. But there's no like report, so there's no like medical explanation to it. But you might be feeling that. Then there's emotional triggers, right? How stress might manifest emotionally, which is irritability, anxiety, crying without any reason, or excessive crying, excessive anger. There's no reason for it. You don't understand the reason, but it's happening to you. Or sometimes, you know what happens? People who don't cry at situations might watch a sad movie and weep about it. Even though they don't understand what the relation to it is, it's not that highly emotional, but they cannot control their emotions. That might be because of stress, and that your body is not being able to channelize it in a way that it needs to, and then it's coming out in this way. And the other is cognitive stress, which might be you're feeling groggy or you're having a lot of racing thoughts in your mind, right? So that's how stress can manifest differently in each of our bodies. What I'd like to tell you is how you can manage it and how you can regulate your emotions in a way where you're being able to understand stress, understand these triggers, and then regulate your emotions. What does emotional regulation mean? I might feel panicky in an exam. I might be feeling anxious while writing my paper, and because of it, I'm messing my paper up or I'm blanking out on the answers, right? In this sort of moment, I need to regulate myself. How do I do that? Take a moment, pause, step back, you know, and ask yourself, what is causing me? Is there a reason for it? Right? Maybe you're having to take a couple of deep breaths, or you're having to do some sort of breath work in that moment to regulate yourself. But regulating your emotions is very, very important before you go ahead and jump into action and say, oh, if I'm not doing it, okay, let me ask this person how to do this answer, or let me cheat somewhere. Yeah, do that. That's up to you. But I'm saying, like, take a step, pause, and really like think about what is causing you this and learn how to regulate your emotions. Now, ma'am, who was before Devansh, had mentioned something, and it's actually pretty much the same in all, fields.
She gave a more spiritual explanation to stress, whereas I'm giving a more biological explanation to stress. She mentioned something where she said, Ki, I don't believe in the concept of stress because I am, you know, equating myself to the energy where I'm thanking the universe so much or showing so much gratitude about things that I do have that stress might not affect me in the same way that it affects the others or us, right? What I understand from this or what psychology says about this is very simple. You can look up the term neuroplasticity. It's very real, it's medical, it's what happens in our brain. In the simplest way, if I'm telling you, neuroplasticity is our brain's ability to change and adapt to new situations around. And it's, neuroplasticity will be with your, in your body till you die. It'll always be there. It's your brain's ability to adapt and change to different situations. So I'll give you an example for this, for neuroplasticity, right? People who ski or any sort of competitive sports, for example, people who racing, right? F1 is very famous. So these people, they have a very quick response time because they have to be very quick because they're in real dangerous sports, right? Life threatening situations. A person who's skiing or who competes in that sport, they're going down the slope, the icy slope. What will they look at? Will they look at the trees or the obstacles that come in their way, or they look at the path that the snow is creating? Now, there's two things. If they look at the trees or any sort of rocks or any like obstacles that might be coming, if they focus on that, they'll only see that. But they don't have to see that. What they have to see is the path that the snow is creating, that they have to navigate their life through or that moment through. That's simply neuroplasticity. If you focus on the good or if you focus on what you have to do next, your brain will seek out opportunities for that. Whereas if you focus on the obstacles or what all is hampering your growth, then your brain will focus on the anything that might be hampering your growth. Simplest way to explain neuroplasticity. And you all please do this experiment with yourselves, right? And every little thing that is enhancing your growth that you look at in clinical terms, we call it glimmers of hope, you can say. Every small thing that is increasing your chances towards growth, self growth, growth in your career, growth in your relationship, any growth. But every little thing that enhances that or that speeds that process is a little glimmer. Focus on the glimmers, right? Focus more attention on the glimmers, and your brain will automatically train itself or adapt to it. That I have to focus on the good, I have to seek out the opportunities that are sort of nudging me in that direction rather than seeking out opportunities that is hampering my growth or that might be coming in the way of my success or anything that you want to achieve basically. So this is a little about neuroplasticity, right? If I am going more into day to day how you can manage stress, right, then I'm going to teach you a technique. It's a grounding technique which I call 5 4 3 2 1 technique, right? So, five things you can see around you, four things you can touch around you, three things you can smell, two things you can taste, and one thing you can hear. And you can do this with any senses, interchange it with any senses. If you want to do five things I can taste, if you want to do four things I can taste, anything like that, that's up to you, right? What this does is when you engage all your five senses, that automatically activates your parasympathetic nervous system. And when your parasympathetic nervous system is activated, your body gets to know that no, I'm not in stress. There is no stressful situation around me. I'm okay. Your parasympathetic nervous system will automatically ease your breathing, lower your heart rate, and everything that might be happening because of anxiety or stress. What all happens because of anxiety or stress? There's persistent sweating, there's increased heart rate, you might be breathing heavily, whatever symptom you might be facing. Once your parasympathetic nervous is activated and it's calming your all these activities down, it's bringing your heartbeat to a normal heart rate, it's bringing your breathing back to normal, then automatically anxiety and stress will go away because it's more physiological than we think. Now there's a argument if stress is more emotional or more physiological. Some people say when emotional trigger occurs, that's when physiological symptoms show up. Some people say physiological symptoms show up, that's when the emotional trigger occurs. So this is on you to identify how your body takes it or how your body perceives it, right? Once your parasympathetic nervous system is activated, your body will calm down and your body will know that I'm not under direct threat. It's just an exam. I don't have to activate my nervous system and think of fight or flight response, and you'll be fine. What you have to do is you have to engage your senses. Now, if you're at home, suppose, right? Then an easy way to do this is very easy. Take an ice cube, or yeah, take an ice cube and put it on your pulse points. Your pulse point is here, one is between your elbow. Wherever your pulse points are, put ice there. Keep it for a couple of minutes till the ice is starting to melt, you know, and that will also activate your parasympathetic nervous system. Basically, you have to shock your senses or put your senses to work. It can be any way. If you're not at home or you don't have access to an ice cube or any other such stimulus, that's when you engage into these grounding techniques. And brain is very clever, right? One After a point you'll get bored of these grounding techniques and they might not work on you in every what's it called, in every situation. So then what I do is I tailor it to my client's needs. So for young boys or young adult boys, especially because I've seen that boys like to play games a lot, right? What I do is I tell them that why don't you make a game out of this? If you're on the road and you start to feel a little bit uncomfortable, maybe you're having some anxiety, maybe you're having some any sort of negative emotion, right? Or your thoughts are racing very fast, your mind is feeling groggy. Why don't you make a game out of it? Uh, Suppose your name starts with, let's say, Devansh, right? D. When you're on the road and you start to feel these symptoms kick in, or any time, start to notice what all is around you that might start with the letter D. Okay, there's a dog around me, starts with the letter D. There's a Dairy Queen around me, starts with the letter D, right? Anything that starts with the letter D. Once you've seen all those things, move to the next letter of your name, E. What else starts with an E around me, right? That's how you complete your name. This is called cognitive shuffling, and it's very important. So, learning these techniques, being informed, being well researched can really help you, because honestly, it's not that difficult to crack the code to regulate your nervous system. Now, I'm not undermining your stress. Yeah, stress is difficult to cope with, but it's not that difficult to regulate your nervous system when you're feeling stressed. If you learn these techniques for yourselves, if you be well informed about how you need to regulate yourselves during these stressful situations, then it's just better for you. Otherwise, without it, also, we are all navigating through life. We've all graduated, we will all graduate, whether with flying colors or not, but we have been doing that. But why not take the easier way out? Why not make it a little more simple for yourself? If practicing that breath work 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening is giving you a little more peace of mind, why not? Right? I'm not pushing the agenda of meditation, anything like that. That is up to you. Definitely it's very 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 beneficial and essential, but I understand that मेरे पास पढ़ाई करने का ही टाइम नहीं है, मैं डेडलाइंस इतनी सारी हैं, इसमें मैं मेडिटेशन भी घुसा हूँ अपने आप को और स्ट्रेस दूं. So no, don't add on to your stress. Make your life as simple as you can and practice mindfulness, because meditation is also basically mindfulness, right? It's teaching you how to be in the moment. And in the moment, all of us, in the moment, we don't have any stress. We're all sitting comfortably, just listening. And okay, after 10 minutes of this presentation getting over, you might have a lot of stress. Or before this presentation, you did have a lot of stress. But in this moment, if you're being completely mindful, you don't have any stress because nothing is happening right now. You're just sitting and listening. I'm just sitting and talking. And if you learn to live this way, then chances of being feeling burnt out because of stress, they reduce a lot. So try to practice mindfulness, whether it's with meditation, whether it's with going to the gym, whether it's with talking to a friend, chatting about anything. That is still mindfulness. If you're being present in that moment, talking to a friend, soaking it in, and then being grateful about it, that is still mindfulness. So just be present in the moment, and later on, when the moment happens, that's when you start to feel stress. That's okay. Now, if the moment has come where I am in the examination hall and I don't know how to write this answer, okay, fine, fair enough, be stressed about it. But before that, only if you will think of the situation and say, oh, I'll blank out, I won't know how to do this. And 2 hours before, if you're taking stress about it, you're overcomplicating your life, right? It doesn't make sense that much. So take it easy. Take it one step at a time. I think Devansh also said this. Take it very easy, very simple, and learn these things. I told you cognitive shuffling, the 5 4 3 2 grounding technique. There are many more which I can teach you, and they're very helpful. You should journal, but not like journaling through prompts, right? That might not work for everybody. What I like to tell my clients is do free association journaling, which is you start writing on a piece of paper and write anything that comes in your heart. If it's a bunch of galis, write that. If it's a bunch of songs, write that. But don't stop till your timer is over. If you decided to write for 10 minutes, write for 10 minutes and put everything on that piece of paper. You never have to read it again, tear it apart into a million pieces and throw it. But what that does is that externalizes what you're facing. And it's very important to verbalize, to externalize what you might be facing. Because that gives you an opportunity to distance yourself from that situation and look at it with a third person point of view. And as lawyers, and I can relate to it as psychologists, as empathetic as we need to be with our clients, we also need to learn how to detach from the situation, because then our biases will come for you in your trial and for me in my session, right? So we are very similar. You can relate to me and I can relate to you. We can't have biases in our cases, but we still have to be empathetic in our cases. We have to be able to relate to the client, to empathize with the client, but we also need to draw the line where we need to detach from the case for two reasons. One, to not bring our biases, and two, to not take every case home. Initially, obviously, you'll be very attached to your case, first few cases, and you'll take it back home and you think constantly about it. But slowly, soon enough, you'll learn to detach. You'll be able to attach when you're at work, and then you'll be able to detach when you're not at work. And that is very, very, very important for a lawyer, for people who are in high pressure jobs like you, where you're handling so many people, so many cases, so many situations, a lot of turmoil, trauma, many things, right? You can't you can't afford burnout. Honestly, you can't afford burnout. You and me in our profession, we can't afford burnout. Obviously, everybody's entitled to an occasional bad day and an occasional stressful day, but overall, we can't be experiencing burnout. So it's very important for us to learn how to navigate around, right? So this is about it. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those questions if time permits. Otherwise, you can reach out. I think Tanya must have put my Instagram handle. I have an Instagram page specially dedicated to therapy. You can reach out to me via that. Yeah, she's put it. Thank you, Tanya.
Thank you, ma'am. Over to you, Hemang.
Ma'am, that was a wonderful words that you just gave to us. I mean, summarize करने में, if I try, it will be injustice. Just to name a few: regulating emotions, neuroplasty, focusing on opportunities, not on problems. Maybe somewhere similar to what Rhonda Byrne's The Universe says. Apart from that, you gave the different methods of cognitive shuffling, journaling, the writing down and tearing those parts apart for express in a way of expression. Um, these are all very effective methods, and we are very thankful to you for giving us all this knowledge through this webinar and providing us your Instagram handle, through which I believe our students will approach you as well if they need further guidance on the same. And if there is any doubt, would you like to take the doubts via chat, ma'am, or would you be willing to take it right now, or should I
Yeah.
direct them to Instagram handle
No, no.
later on?
I think we could take a few questions, right?
All right, all right. So there is that one question asked in the chat. Do we really need to pay much attention to our mental health to that extent, though? The more terms you know about mental health terms, the more you start relating to it. Isn't it just practical to not pay much attention to emotions in simply what's life and your responsibilities are asking from you?
Uh, well, some people definitely believe the concept ignorance is bliss. If you relate to that concept, I don't think I have any problem. That depends, how much of it is are you truly facing? ऐसे तो then that means, for example, I know so much of psychology that means I should be relating to every single disorder. Sometimes I might think I'm borderline personality disorder. Sometimes I might think I'm schizophrenic because somewhere or the other a little symptomatology might show in everybody, right? Sometimes I might be acting a little crazy because I'm PMSing. Crazy in the sense that I might be highly emotional doesn't mean I am BPD or I am PPD or any such disorders, right? So, if you believe in the concept that ignorance is bliss, well enough. But if you are facing these issues where you're starting to think that, I'm having a little difficulty navigating and it might be helpful to talk to somebody, then why not? But being a psychologist, I don't want to be suggestive of anything. I don't want to push anybody into any direction. If you want help, there is help. There's help accessible, affordable, even free because all of us offer pro bono cases as well. I don't think there's any harm in reaching out and talking, especially because it's so confidential, right? And but the question, it's a very good question. Ki, the more we know, the more I'm going to be able to relate to it. What I'd like to say is, do know about it, but don't be susceptible to it. No, don't be so easily influenced that everything you know you'll be able to relate to, everything you see you'll want to relate to it. That's where you need to focus on your uh, like strength of your mind, that you're not easily influenced or that you're not susceptible to so much that's around you, that everything that you're listening you're relating to it. And this is about stress. Stress is very general. We all should know about stress. That's why I have not gone too much into the details of like symptomatology or how to diagnose. I've not talked about any disorders because I don't want you to self-diagnose yourselves. It's very dangerous. But stress, all this is on YouTube as well. So it's better that you get your information from somebody who's qualified to do so rather than getting it off ChatGPT or off Wikipedia or wherever you might be getting that information, right?
I also have one doubt, ma'am.
Sure.
So Monday to Friday, I
Mhm.
intern. Saturday, I go to my college for my attendance, and on
Right.
Saturday, on Sunday, I go for the pro bono work of Project Saksham, which has organized this.
Right.
So you talked about burnout. Is
Mhm.
there any way, any technique that you would suggest for avoiding burnout since I'm getting all 7 days?
So very simply, I'll give a little example, right? Suppose that stress and slow burnout is emptying your cup. So let's say you're the cup, it's emptying it, but you have to fill it as well, no? So do certain things or activities that might help you fill that cup. For example, if somebody is constantly working, interning, pro bono, volunteering, and then going out clubbing fills their cup. But genuinely, they're not going because of pressure. It genuinely makes them feel connected to their friends or whatever they might like to engage in. And that is filling their cup. Why not? Why not do all those things? So, whatever you like to do, whether it's running, swimming, painting, listening to music, eating a good meal after a long day, do that. Engage in all those activities as well. If you're taking so much out of your body, putting so much pressure into doing all that work, give it some nourishment as well. And that nourishment might look different for all of us. So that's very subjective. Find out what really fills your cup because most of us don't even know what we like to do. After school, we all left hobbies, we all left extracurricular. But really think about it. When Divansh said spend some time, why don't you spend some time asking yourself what you like to do in that, some time that you have for yourself? For girls, it might be uh, self care. Some people like to do a lot of skincare and extensive skincare routine. They do a mask, they'll do some whatever, and that might feel good after a long day. That might help them rejuvenate. So ask yourselves what you like to do when you have that time for yourself and engage in that as much as you can.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Just the last question that we'll
Mm.
take.
Yeah.
Malika, ma'am, which technique would you be preferring other than 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 for anxiety and stress in an outside setting when a person is surrounded with acquaintances and strangers? Also, could you please explain the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique in brief again, ma'am?
Sure. So, pehle I'll explain the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique. It's a grounding technique. What does grounding mean, right? It's a buzzword, grounding. What does it mean is basically at the end of the day, in the middle of the day, when you've been too disconnected with yourself in the rush of everything that's around you, right? There's so much noise around you. Somebody's saying this, teachers saying this, parents are saying something else, boyfriend might be saying something else, and you're not really connected to yourself. You take that 5 minutes out of your time to connect with yourself, to ground yourself back to the earth and say, and like, do something in that moment when you are grounding yourself. What you do is you engage all five senses. What are your five senses? You know enough sense organs, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, and those form your senses as well. So basically, you engage that to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. Nervous system is basically our brain, spinal cord, and the nerves that create our nervous system, right? So what you do is you do five things you can see around you. Okay, what can I see? I'll tell you what can I see. There's a lamp. My laptop is there. There's a plant in front of me. There's a water bottle in front of me. And my phone is in front of me. Five things I can see. Four things I can touch that might feel differently. Just a laptop is hard. Okay, hard in texture. This table in front of me is also hard in texture. Now, what is a different texture? Let's say my hair. I can touch my hair, it's a different texture. Let's say the leaves of the plant. I can touch that, it's a different texture. There's a scrunchie in front of me. This is soft, different texture. So, four things I'll touch like that. Three things I can hear. What I can hear is I can hear a dog barking outside, I can hear some birds, and I can hear some people talking outside. Right? Three things I can hear. Two things I can smell. So abhi to I can't smell anything. It's very neutral around me. So you get up and engage your nose smell. You go and sniff something, whether it's a perfume, whether it's a lotion, anything that you like, whether it's your perfume since when you were in class 10th and it takes you back to class 10 memories, whether it's coffee beans, anything that's fragrant and that you like. And then one thing you can taste. Abhi, I can't taste it. It's very neutral again. Then I'll go into the kitchen and I'll grab a sweet treat, whether it's a chocolate, toffee, anything at all. But make it sweet because then that will again do a lot with your blood sugar. And there's a lot of medical aspect to it. You don't need to understand it. If you want to, you can always research. But grab a sweet treat. Okay, this is 5 4 1 5 4 3 2 1 grounding technique. Now you can do this in any sequence. If you want to do five things you can taste, do five things you can taste. If you want to do four things you can smell, do four things you can smell. And always change this. ठीक है? Like हमेशा 5 4 3 2 1 मत करो. उसमें आप कर लो कि five things I can see that start with the letter M. Five things I can see that start with the letter P. कुछ भी वेरिएशन अपना बना लो डिफरेंट डिफरेंट. गेम गेम खेलते रहो. जैसे सामने ट्री आया, फिर आप बोलो ओके लेट मी थिंक ऑफ ऑल द वर्ड्स दैट राइम विद ट्री. ट्री, फ्री, है ना? ऐसे करके वेरिएशन बनाते रहो अपने माइंड में till you start to feel a little more calm and distracted. Okay, this is simply 5 4 3 2 1 grounding technique. Now, what is the second part of the question? What do you do if you're in public? Right, got it. I think 5 4 3 2 1 is very essential when you're in public because nobody will get to know what you're doing. If you're just seeing things around you and in your mind you're doing five things I can see, nobody knows if you're around acquaintances. But if you don't want to engage in that, no problem. Try to find an ice cube. If you can't find that, it's okay. Try to grab a sweet treat. So if you're generally an anxious person, always keep a chewing gum or a toffee in your handbag or in your pocket because it really calms your parasympathetic nervous system down and brings you back. So keep that. The other thing that you can do is either engage in some sort of EFT tapping. EFT tapping is basically you're tapping your wherever body face to again bring your parasympathetic nervous system into engagement so that that is activated and your heart rate and all that has increased because of anxiety is again calming down. Your goal is basically to awaken your parasympathetic nervous system. Now that might be any way for you, right? Some people, let's for example, I tell you when you're hiccuping, when you're having hiccups, you tell somebody, no, pinch me really hard or give me a shock so my hiccups stop. Why is that? Because hiccuping again and again is telling your making your body think that you're in stress. Body doesn't know what is real stress and what is perceived stress. Body doesn't know that. When you're hiccuping again and again, body thinks you're in stress and it is activating your fight or flight or fawn or freeze in some cases. So if you're shocking your parasympathetic nervous system, hiccuping stops. Or pinching your parasympathetic nervous system really hard. Pinching yourself really hard, I mean. So any which way, you have to activate your parasympathetic nervous system to calm yourselves down. ठीक है? EFT tapping. If you don't want to do it on your face, you can do it on your arms. Press your arms basically. And let one more thing. If you watch Grey's Anatomy, right? Many of us have watched Grey's Anatomy. Usme there was a very renowned some neuro she was related to, right? And she had a very she was neurodivergent and she had a disorder. And one time she says to the two leads, that hug me really hard. And they say, why, ma'am? Why should we hug you? Why should we hug you? She says, because hugging really tightly activates your parasympathetic nervous system and it helps me to calm down. So hugging also, go and hug somebody really tightly or make them hold you really tightly. That's why hugging eases you. That's why we like to hug people so much. Yeah, obviously it releases oxytocins and it's releasing serotonin and all these hormones, but it is also making your parasympathetic nervous system believe that you're not in danger and you're okay. There's no threat around you. So these are some techniques that you can do to calm yourselves down.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Um, we also have doubts from Devansh sir.
Hi, sure.
Mm, guys, if you have any doubts from Devansh sir, he is willing to take it right now. Also, Tanya will share his Instagram handle as well. You can reach out to him directly. He is very helpful as well. Just like Malika ma'am, she has also her Instagram handle has also been shared. You can reach out to her, take her sessions. She will be a wonderful counseling psychiatrist. Um, Tanya, will you share Devansh sir's and Malika ma'am's Instagram handle? Okay.
Ma, just one clarification. I'm not a psychiatrist, guys. I'm not a doctor. I'm a psychologist. Psychiatrist is somebody who's a doctor who's done medical. I have not. I'm a psychologist. Okay.
Apologies for the mistake, ma'am. Okay. No doubts as of now. Okay. All right. So we'll wrap up. Thank you, Ms. Narang, for your enlightening talk and for underscoring the importance of mental well-being. For formally concluding this session, I now invite Nakul from NSS to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, Nakul.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It is my privilege to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to all who contributed to making today's event a success. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our distinguished speakers, Dr. Pramila Gupta ma'am, Advocate Devan Sharma sir, and Ms. Malika Narang ma'am for the insightful and thought-provoking sessions. Your expertise and perspectives have provided us with a wealth of knowledge and inspiration. I would also like to thank the organizing team for their hard work and meticulous planning, which ensured the smooth execution of this event. Your dedication and effort are greatly appreciated. A big thank you to our audience for our active engagement and participation. Your enthusiasm has added great value to the discussions today. Lastly, I want to acknowledge the support staff and technical team whose efforts behind the scenes ensured everything ran seamlessly. Thank you all once again for our contributions, especially National Executive Board of Project Saksham, including Advocate Dinesh Chand Meena sir, Advocate Rishabh sir, Advocate Parmeshwari ma'am, and Advocate Aman sir. Let's carry forward the learnings and ideas we have gathered today, wishing everyone a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Nakul, for your kind words. As we end this session, let us remember, तनाव से भागना नहीं, उसे समझकर संभालना सीखें. Stress is not a weakness, it is a part of life that challenges us to grow. Let's carry forward the strategies and insights we have learned today, applying them not just in law school but in every aspect of our lives. On behalf of the NSS unit of Law Center 2 and Project Saksham, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed speakers, the organizing team, and our wonderful audience. Thank you all for joining us. Wishing you a peaceful and productive day ahead.
Guys,